All right, here we go, guys, and we are doing a picking boats by the side of the road video. It is the beginning of May. Today's actually May 1. I think this video is going to come out May 2 to be determined, but I think that's how I'm going to formulate it. And we are a little further west here on the North Fork of Long Island, and this technically might be past the North Fork. I'll have to look at a map, but we're in a town called Baiting Hollow. And we got a tip from my friend Jimmy, my next door neighbor, my mate Chris's dad, my old mate Chris, who's doing a lot better. Thank you for those who have asked repeatedly in the comments. He gave me a lead on this boat. We'll see if it's still there. He texted me a couple days ago. He was driving by this area and he saw it. So it's a couple miles up the road. We will check back in when we get to it, and we'll see what it's all about. I honestly don't even know what kind of boat it is. All right, this is the road, Edwards Avenue, that the boat should be on. Jimmy said it was about a mile south off Sound Avenue, which is the road we were on. So it should be coming up any second. Let's see. I think I see a boat up there on the left. Maybe it's the right. I can't tell. It looks like there's a bend in the road. No, it is the left. I got a school bus behind me. Is that a Grady White? Can't tell yet. Oh boy. Where am I going to stop here? Let's see. It's around a bend. That's the tricky part. I'm going to make a U-E somewhere and pull up behind it. Not a Grady White. Oh boy. Let's make a left in this little street here and then turn around somewhere. Oh, this is a nice house. C8 Corvette. Look at that. I like that blue too. All right. All right, let's pull up behind it and see what we got. All right. It's a Mako, a 228 cuddy cabin, 2006 load right trailer, 2002 Ocean Pre, needs fuel lines and a tune. All new rollers and arms on the trailer. Of course, it's a roller trailer. 4800-631-953-3203. So you're really looking at a classic Mako here. What's the year? Let's see the year. They didn't include the year. Looks like 84 based on the HIN. So and that's what this looks like in 84. I mean that era, right? Mid 80s, just a classic walk around. And I always loved on these older boats, these gunnels here, under the gunnels, how they just created space for them. I mean, you could stick your rods down there, your brush down there, just no wasted space on these boats. There's a couple of outriggers too. I wonder where maybe those get mounted over here. Yeah, 4800. Sounds like the engine needs a little bit of work. I mean, it's hard to kill these old OMC two-strokes that are not fixed. I don't know how easy or difficult it is to find people now that really know how to work on these, but a lot of backyard mechanics would work on their own engines back in the day. These are not known as very complicated engines. Typically, what you would do is disconnect the automatic oil injection, the VRO system on these, and pre-mix the oil. Bigger, little bit of a pain in the butt when you're dealing with a bigger boat because you got a lot of fuel to mix oil in with, and I would prefer to have that VRO pump working. We obviously don't know. It does look like there were some fuel delivery issues. There is a cabin in there. The deck looks solid, actually. It's a clean boat. Nice bimini on it too. 4,800, little piece missing here, but you got a little storage box here. You have more storage right there. Lots of storage on this boat. This middle piece looks like it's riveted in right now, but it looks like it did come out. I presume fuel and whatever is under there. If I were buying this boat, I would definitely get that out, see what the innards of the boat look like, the bones of the boat. Yeah, I mean, this is a project for somebody. I don't know if you're... Let that cement truck pass by. I don't know if this is a flip boat, 4,800, and you put some money into it. I mean, how much are you really going to sell this for? But not a bad little deal on a classic Mako. Yeah. All right, I know we got a big Jupiter to look at. There might be another boat on the way to that Jupiter, I believe it's a Hurricane deck boat. We'll check that out. I did see those in Miami at the boat show. They were pretty cheap new. Curious what the used market is for them. So we'll see if that boat's still there. We do have a 30-ish Jupiter that I saw also by Port of Egypt. And then we'll have a bonus boat at the end that I filmed a couple days ago. Again, thanks to my next door neighbor, Jimmy, friend of his selling a boat. We'll talk about that when we get to that clip. But there you go. First boat, a Mako 22 walk around, 4,800. Needs a little bit of engine work, but looks solid and clean otherwise. Okay, we're off Route 48. This snuck up on me. I thought it was further east. Here's that deck boat. Let's see what it's about. I think, oh, you know what? It's a Cobalt. It's actually a good brand. All right. Let us check it out and see what we have. All right, it is a Cobalt, about a 20-footer, 21 maybe, dual axle trailer. Registered recently. I like the color. So it is an inboard outboard, a Volvo Penta, dual prop. See, it does spin. Really basic layout here. It's a 200, so it is a 20-footer, and it's a 94. Where was that for sale sign? Nice integrated boarding ladder here. Plenty of seats. It's more a cruise boat. Any boat you can really fish off. You can see just right here, there's 6 seats. There's the engine access. Nice carpeting on the boat. The boat looks well cared for. I'm sure it zips along really nice. There it is. It's a 94, 20-footer with trailer, low hours, outdrives and bellows rebuilt, 21 OEM parts, new fuel pump in 24, new radio and speakers, always maintained, runs excellent, 12,000. There's the number. Not a bad little deal. Older boat, obviously 30 years old, but does not look 30. I never would have guessed this was a 30-year-old boat. Should be easily trailerable. And yeah, 12 grand. That's what a used Kia costs. If you want to get out on the water, if you don't care about fishing, this looks like a clean, well-kept model. Should be torquey with the duo prop here on the Volvo outdrive. So it is an inboard outboard. Not sure about the engine. 20-footer. Would this have a 350 in it? I don't know enough about these boats to tell you for sure, but you can see it's really clean in here. This upholstery, I have to believe, was redone at some point. Does not look anywhere near 30 years old. I mean, it's in really good shape, and anyone who knows boat upholstery knows, after 10 years, it doesn't look this good. All right. Now, I'm wondering, is there a Hurricane deck boat somewhere too? I'm getting all confused. I definitely saw this one too, and I forgot about it. And it is on a roller trailer. Trailer does look like it's in decent shape. A little bit of rusting in the bearings there, but nothing a little lube won't help with. All right, let's go see what's next. I don't know if the next boat is going to be that Hurricane deck boat, if it's still there, or the Jupiter that we saw at Port of Egypt, but only one way to find out. We'll check in and see. All right, we're a couple miles down the road. We're on what is now called Middle Road, used to be called Route 48. I don't know what they're doing with the naming conventions here. We're in the town of Southold, eastern Long Island, on the North Fork. And I believe that Hurricane deck boat should be, if it's still for sale, right up here. This is a spot we've seen quite a few boats listed for sale. Noticed it the other day. It's 8 in the morning on May 1 at this point. There it is. It's pretty. There's 2 boats here for sale. Well, we'll focus on this one. See where I can park. Maybe I'll take up half the street here. We'll do that. Let's see what we got here. All right, we are on a busy road, so it is a Hurricane deck boat. 45,000, call Joe. Got an easy load trailer, and it's a bunk trailer. Haven't seen one of those in a while. It's a 2021, 300 hours. It's a 235 sun deck, 45,000. There's the number. I think that's a Jersey number. Looks like it's in good shape. Got a Yamaha 4-stroke VMAX Thistle Scoot, 4-blade aluminum or painted. I don't know. Is it aluminum? It looks like an aluminum prop. 175. So I actually looked at these boats in Miami. They were relatively affordable. You know, I'll go back and see if I can find what they were selling for new, and I'll pop it in up here. I'll go back and look through my video clips. I don't think I ever published a video with them. You do see there's a recessed covered boarding ladder here. That's a nice touch. Trailer looks like it's in pretty good shape. 23-foot boat, 45 grand. Registered recently, 300 hours. Nice bimini on it, in really good shape. Full boat cover too. Well, it looks like it's in really decent shape. I mean, it's only 3 years old. But yeah, and I'm wondering, 4-blade, probably to get it out of the hole a little better. It's 175. It's actually a pretty big boat for 175 horsepower. Texas, Vermont license plate. That's interesting. Does have like this sea deck material here. And here, I wonder if the rest of the boat has that too. Looks like it's got some nice pop-up cleats as well. Yeah, all around. I'll show. You know, maybe we'll interpose over this video some shots of the Hurricane deck boat layout, either from my video or from their website, and we'll see if we can get an MSRP on a new one. But that price isn't terrible for a 23-foot boat. From what I remember, again, very similar to that last Cobalt we saw, really designed more for cruising and sports, right? Skiing, wakeboarding, things like that, than necessarily fishing. But if you want to get into something newer than that one, at obviously a more expensive price, but you are getting an outboard instead of an inboard outboard and a much newer boat, this could be your boat. All right. I think we got one last boat to look at live, and then we are going to have a boat at the very end that we looked at a couple days ago that we're going to include in this video. All right, we're back. We switched roads. We are now on Route 25. Should be pulling up to my boat pretty soon. I'm hoping it's not here, actually. That means maybe it's starting to get work done. No, there it is, here on the left, sitting on the trailer, still waiting to get painted and the transducer to be put in. So one marina over, here we are at Port of Egypt, and here's this beautiful Jupiter here. Let's take a look and see what we got. All right, I cheated a little on this one. I did look this up on their website. There's Port of Egypt Marine. They're right next door to Albertson's, my marina. It's a 34, and you can see it's just a big wide boat. Always hard to tell with the GoPro. Twin Yamaha 350s. I'll include some details in the description. I didn't read it too closely to get the hours and stuff. But a 2014 boat, see these big trim tabs here, underwater lights, and the interior is just awesome. Hard to tell from this vantage point, but this is a mezzanine facing seat here. You can see there's looks like a little ladder to step into the boat from the dock on that side. I presume it's on this side too. Lots and lots of rod holders along the side. Big beefy hard top with more rod holders on that side. Electronics box up there with a VHF radio and a stereo radio. We'll go on to the other side just to get out of the wind a little. And by the way, these motors, for all the grief they get, I would own these in a heartbeat if they were the newer series, the C series. As long as you take care of that flywheel, these motors are just beasts. I mean, the amount of torque they have. This was a V8 engine back when, that was almost unthinkable. I think OMC had a big V8 back in the 80s into the early 90s. But in terms of reliability, these are really reliable. As long as you stay on top of that flywheel schedule where you have to change the flywheel, and I think it's covered free by Yamaha every 80 hours at a certain RPM. The computer figures that all out for you. There is a boarding ladder too on that side. Again, there's a mezzanine seat here. It's a wide boat. Again, I'll try to put the specs somewhere in this video. You can see two Furuno units, looks like newer units, glove box there. I believe it does have forward seating. Hard to tell from up here. The price is $229. Again, it's a 34. And yes, there is forward seating. I can see it from here. $229. It's a little expensive, but honestly, if you price out a 34 Jupiter today, these have a fantastic reputation, by the way, just a quality boat. If you price one out new, I'm guessing it's going to be close to 500. I know my buddy Jonathan priced out a new 34 CV, and he was shocked at the price. It was, I want to say, between 500 and 600. Yeah, these new boat prices are super expensive. So you're basically paying 35% of that for a 10-year-old one, but a 10-year-old one that looks like it's in great shape. Factor in some point down the line, right? These are 10-year-old engines. You may need to repower. Add 100K. It's not even going to be 100K. Add 65K if you switch to the new 350, 70K at most if you switch to the new 350 Yamahas, which are based on the V6 300 block, the 4.2 liter. You could be in a boat that looks new, has new power, and you'll be right around the 300 mark, which is a lot of money, I know. But if you're somebody who's buying new, it's probably half the price of what you're going to pay new. And again, I've personally never ridden on one of these, but everything I've read, they're supposed to be beasts. And I honestly believe it. Look, I know it has a bow thruster too. That's nice. All right, there you go. The Jupiter 34 at Port of Egypt, $229,000. All right, we are in Orient, New York. One of my good friends, Jimmy, told me about one of his best friends growing up, tragically passed away at a young age. This is his boat. No sign on it, but Jimmy did tell me $24,000 with the trailer. Now, unfortunately, it's been sitting a while. I took the cover off right before we got on here. But it's a HydraSport 2450 center console. It's in decent shape. It's a 1999. You guys will let me know what you think of the price. It is negotiable. See a anchor pulpit up here. Little T-top up there, electronics box. Forward seat here. It is a little tattered. The boat was bought in Freeport way back when. It is the Vector series, which is their, I believe, you guys will keep me honest again, their carbon fiber or whatever they call that material that's a little harder than than whatchamacallit, than fiberglass, and that's what's in here. It's actually a very roomy boat, combing pads. It does need a lot of TLC, guys, a lot of TLC, but it's got good bones, it looks like. Rod holders on top, rod holders here along the gunnel. Don't believe it comes with any electronics. Old style little swivel seats here. That looks like it's a live well there, a couple of more rod holders there. There's access to the batteries that sit on a ledge here. They don't actually go into the bilge. There's the pump for the washdown in that corner, the port corner. And the engine itself, big trim tabs. Let's focus on the positive. Apparently it runs fine, but it's a Yamaha 300 HPDI. This is Yamaha's first attempt at direct injection. The 150 and 200 series of these engines are generally considered to be some of the most reliable engines Yamaha has ever made. The 250s and the 300s have their issues. That you got to stay on top of them with fuel filters and keep fresh fuel through them all the time. The boat has been sitting, I believe, over a year. So somebody who buys this will have to, I believe, just go through it and likely replace the VST and all the other fuel filters that these engines have. Once you have clean fuel running through these engines, they run like scalded dogs. They're relatively fuel efficient. They make more power than the F300, the four-stroke. But the key with these is clean fuel, clean fuel, clean fuel. But it's a Vector. It's, I believe, HydraSport, pardon me, I think, could be wrong. Again, you guys will keep me honest. I believe Aquasport bought these molds after HydraSport became the HCB and now just focuses on huge boats. And these are overbuilt boats. I mean, look at the side, how it comes up, the flare here. It just has a really, really beefy look to it. And they're asking 24, but again, it's negotiable. And I know you guys will keep me honest. The last thing we'll talk about is the trailer. Structurally, it looks like it's in good condition, but it's been sitting a while. You can see the tires. They will need a little help. There is some dry rot. They have been sitting a while. I think this side is worse. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can air them up and they'll be fine, but probably looking at a couple new tires, at least on this side. But the trailer itself looks like it's in decent condition. All right, let's move on. All right, we're back on the road, headed west, headed home. There you go, bunch of boats on this video. And a couple more that we didn't even bother to film. It was funny, the last video I struggled to find 3, I think, that I could film, and now it seems like we have a plethora of them for sale, which kind of makes sense, right? Because now is the time where, you know, if you want to sell a boat, this is probably where people have the peak interest, the highest level of interest. It's getting warmer. It's that time of year where boats are getting launched, and at least here in the Northeast, I realize in Florida, you guys have the luxury of boating most of the year, if not the whole year. But for us here in the Northeast, I think a lot of people wait till around now to start pulling their boats out of storage, putting them on the side of the road, or listing them with marinas, trying to get them sold. As far as which boats I would pick, I mean, if I'm on a budget, I would probably go with that. $12,000 Hurricane deck boat. It was in, it was a Cobalt. It was in great shape. Yeah, it had an inboard, outboard, but at that price, you know, you would learn to live with it. It'd probably be a boat you trailer anyway. So at least you'd have that. You wouldn't have that inboard, outboard in the water, the whole year or the whole season. If money were no object, it would definitely be that Jupiter. Man, I love that boat. And even if those 350s spit the bid at one point, you'd still be ahead, as clean as that boat was, presuming that it checked out okay from a survey perspective, which I assume it will. You'd still be ahead because that boat, brand new, I guarantee you, is going to be north of $500,000, and it's just a big, wide boat that has a great reputation. I also really liked that HydraSport we saw, not crazy, as I said in the video. And again, that video was shot a couple days ago, but not crazy about that motor per se. If it were me, I would budget a repower on that boat, but those old Vector hulls have a solid reputation. They're just beasts on the water, and you know, that boat would be great, I think. But I do think at some point in the future, you're probably looking at a repower. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like these videos, hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing.